Hey guys, welcome back to Land Shark Lifestyle. I am back in Florida now, and the weather always follows me around the country with this rain. I don't know how it works exactly, but the whole time I was on vacation it was raining. Before I left it was raining when I was in Florida. Now I'm back in Florida and there's a hurricane coming, and I never really had a problem with hurricanes. I know some people get real freaked out by the storms and stuff. I always kind of enjoyed the weather though. Whenever it's raining and real windy out and stuff, I always find it very peaceful. But anyway, today I'm going to be finishing up my little series here on the sales process and how to pick up girls, how they relate. And today I'm going to be going over the closing part and the post-closing or the follow-up part. And the closing part's kind of like the goal of the process, right? Is to, in sales, get the signature and get the money and stuff, finish the sale out, close it. And then in, picking up girls, getting that number so that way you've got the opportunity to communicate in the future and maybe, go on another date or, somehow meet each other in the future. But the point is that these two pieces are very critical to the process working. Otherwise, you're going to have to just keep repeating, steps 1 through 5 in order to get to 6 and 7 here, which is the closing part. But in the last video I was going over, when you have the approach, you just got to take your shot. You got to, if you figure out someone that you want to go talk to, you just have to go do it, start talking to her, and then if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But, if it does work out, then you took your shot and it paid off. And then we also went over the presentation, and so kind of valuing yourself, figuring out what you're passionate about, what represents you, and then, putting that into some sort of little elevator pitch so that way you're ready to go when you go out and you can just kind of, give your presentation basically. And then we also talked about the importance of confidence and how that is pretty much the main piece to all this working. And that kind of ties into something else I wanted to talk about today, which is it doesn't really matter what you say or, if you're using these things that I'm telling you, it doesn't really matter. They don't really work on their own. You have to have, the vibe, and you have to have, the energy to it, if you will, because girls can pick up on that a lot easier. So you could say the cheesiest pickup line, but if you say it with the right tone of voice and in the right type of moment, then you're going to appeal to that girl's emotions, and then you're going to be able to get that number. Because girls are a lot better at communicating, and they're a lot better at understanding emotions. They feel a lot more emotions. So you have to appeal to that and, use that as part of your communication. And it's a little harder for guys because our brains just don't have the, stuff to communicate like girls do. They're just significantly better at reading faces and whatnot. But it definitely has a big part in whether you're going to get that number and whether you're going to be able to close that little sale, basically. Because you have to create some sort of strong emotion with the memory that you guys basically shared there together. So if you meet the girl out at the bar or the club or something, you guys are having a good time dancing and stuff, then you have to use that emotion, that positive, that fun, vibe that you guys are having, use that to your advantage. So when it comes to the closing process though here, you really want to, be leading up to it the whole time. So as you're talking to the girl, as you're going through your presentation and whatnot, you want to be generating yeses. You want to be leading the conversation. And so that way she gets the hang of following you, and it's comfortable to, you suggest something and then she kind of follows along. That's what you want to build this little pattern of. So that way when it comes to the end of the conversation, at the end of the night or whatever, you can say, hey, can I get your number? And then she's going to say yes, because you're leading that conversation. You're leading to get the number, and then she's going to follow it by giving you the number. Because girls communicate in a lot more of an emotional way. So if you can kind of pair the fun that you guys are having, like that vibe that you have, when you're at the bar or the club or, wherever you're at. You could be at the grocery store, but if you guys had a little flirty conversation, then you want to remind her of that. So I usually text something and kind of, make a little joke or say something kind of funny about what we were just doing and try and pair that together a little bit. But I'm almost to the gym here. I'm about to go inside and get this sick pump on. So I'll go ahead and finish off this closing stuff when I'm done. For now, I'm going to go get this sick pump on. just got done with a sick all body pump. Every muscle worked out, triceps, biceps, chest, back, legs, abs. I love working out. It's really nice to be back at my home gym too. I wasn't able to really work out on vacation. But anyway, back to closing. So there's a bunch of different ways you can close. Everybody kind of has their own strategy. I tend to go with like an assumptive close. So like kind of assuming that you already got the number when you did it. And then they'll usually point out when you're getting the number that you don't have it, right? And so then you'd be like, oh, well, let me get it real quick and I'll text you. So I tend to like the assumptive close like that, where you kind of assume that you're gonna get the number, tell them that you're gonna text them or something, and then they'll usually offer to give you the number. But it just seems like that always works the best for me. You can have your own approach though. Like, I know guys that are kind of just like real straightforward, like, hey, can I get your number? I had a good time. I wanna hang out again. I know guys that like will do a little joke like, hey, I'm never gonna call you or see you again, something like that. And then sometimes they'll give you the number that way. But just kind of play around with it. And when you're going out, just kind of continue leading the conversation, continue having a good vibe, continue doing you. And then at the end of that conversation, it'll pay off, because if you guys are having a good time and she actually does want to see you again, then she's going to give you the number. So it's not going to be like a struggle and a big challenge like you might think it will be, as long as you're having a good time, as long as there's a vibe there. So just keep doing you, keep having that good vibe, have your kind of presentation together, and know who you are, be confident with it. So that way when you're talking to her and you're meeting new girls out in the wild and stuff, you can go through, get the number, follow through the process. Now you've got the number and you want to text her. So usually is what I would recommend is, like I was saying earlier, text her right when you're with her. So that way, there's already a text sent and it's already paired with the fun that you guys were having earlier. But then after that's done, now you guys are home and you have to, start sending another text if you want to hang out again. Well, I would usually text her maybe a couple hours afterwards, kind of remind her again of that fun time. So if you guys had like a joke, or, if there was something that happened that you guys both thought was funny or you both enjoyed, usually try and remind them of that somehow. So like, say you guys were out at the bar and you played a game or something and you won, well then maybe ask her, when do you want to go win that game again or something. You want to use the emotions that went along with how you guys were feeling, the fun that you guys had, and you want to remind the girl of that, so that way she wants to have that fun again with you. And so try and use this when you're texting a little bit, but just be authentic. That's kind of the main trick to this, is just being authentic, being yourself, and just showing her what your value is. Because if it's a girl that you want to be with and she wants to be with you and you guys are going to have a good time and you're compatible, then it shouldn't be too challenging to have a fun conversation and to be yourself at the same time. So you want to really be authentic. You really want to be confident in yourself, be authentic, and just have fun with it. And then after like 3 to 5 texts, you don't want to wait too long. You want to secure a date with her. So ask her if she's free on Wednesday or Friday or whatever you're free. Give her a couple different options, so that way she has something to say yes to. Something like coffee, maybe going to the beach, going to a park, maybe just going downtown or something one night to grab a drink, anything like that. But I wouldn't do anything big, like I wouldn't go on a fancy dinner or something for the first date. But remember to be confident and be yourself and say what you think, because a lot of guys just don't say what they're thinking, and that's what girls want you to do. So if if you're having a thought in your head, even though it doesn't maybe sound like the right thing to say, just say it. Go with your gut instinct and, just kind of text whatever you're thinking at the moment. A lot of guys just overthink it, and there's too much, back and forth in your head about what you should say or what the right thing to say or what the most successful thing to say would be. And a lot of times it just doesn't work out that way. Just be authentic, say what you're thinking, and it's going to work 9 times out of 10, I promise. Finishing up my little series here. This is the 3rd video, and it is coming to an end. But I will probably make some more videos about this, just because it's something that I'm passionate about. It's something that I think a lot of people want help with, and just some other perspective to look at. Everybody have a good hurricane if you're in the area. And if you enjoyed the video, give me a like, give me a thumbs up on the video. Also, if you're not subscribed already, subscribe to Landshark Lifestyle, because I'm posting a video every week that you don't want to miss. I'm trying to diversify the content, and I've got some fun stuff coming up here. So not next week, but the week after, you guys are in for a surprise. I'm gonna do some fun stuff here. I'll see you guys next week.